I remember waking up and just suddenly feeling excruciating pain. So they pumped up the drugs to alleviate that. And then I stayed overnight, and they were monitoring me pretty frequently, I remember. And then they would give me pain medication, but it was very restrictive in that it had to be every 4 hours. And by the end, like towards 3.5, the pain would start coming, but the nurse wouldn't give me the pain medicine until I hit 4 hours. So that last 30 minutes was just awful. And then the next morning came around, and the doc came by, and so I had both the oncology surgeon who took out the tissue, and then right in there with her is the plastic surgeon who put in the tissue expanders. So it happens all together. And they came in the morning, checked me out, and they said, "You're fine to go." So I remember being scared and not ready to go home. And I asked them to let me stay a little longer. They said I would heal better at home, so they were really urging me. But it hurt. It really hurt. And so I just wasn't, and I didn't feel confident that I could take care of myself, even with my husband helping me. So just was really scared to go home. But once I got here home, I realized, it is a lot easier to recover, right? Because you don't have all the other distractions going on. So the mastectomy was, that was, I would say, the hardest part of this whole treatment. Yeah, even reconstruction was actually, I think, a bigger surgery, but it was actually easier to do. I just philosophically have an issue with any kind of foreign things in my body, so I actually try not to even take pain meds or aspirin if I don't have to. So I think it might have been psychological, but I just knew I couldn't do the silicone because it wasn't me, and I just needed to feel complete, I think, and be assured that it was all me. And everybody's different, and I totally respect everybody's decision on this, but that was just my choice. And fortunately, one of the other issues is my friend didn't do this, although she had the option. And when I asked her why, it was because she's a very slender, slim person, and she just didn't have enough tissue here. And so, even my plastic surgeon had said, don't try to lose too much weight because you need to keep the tissue to be able to have enough to build the breast sizes that I wanted. So it was, I got to eat more, eat what I wanted to eat, so that was nice. They're like these plastic cups that are flat, and they insert them into your chest area, into the cavities. And so gradually they expand like balloons they put fluid into them. And each time was like 100 cc's. And so depending on how big you want to be, I think I had to go to like 650 or 700. So every 2 to 3 weeks, I would go in and have these expansions. So when they did the first fluid insertion, it just hurts because you have very tight tissue and you're trying to loosen it up. So that was pretty painful. It was 3 days in the hospital. You're lost skin and tissue, so you're crunched over because you can't actually stand up straight. And I think the first day or two, I couldn't really get out of bed. Then, I was getting to the bathroom, but the first night, they want to make sure that all the vessels reattach. So they put this warm inflatable heating pad over you, so you have to sleep with that all night. And then the nurses come in to check with the ultrasound every half hour or so to make sure all the vessels are attaching. So it was a major surgery, and I was told like 6 to 8 weeks to recover. So I got home on day 3, I think it was, and we had to I was trying to figure out how to sleep and then how to get in and out of bed because it was just really hard to move with this huge cut. So we had rented one of those recliners at first, but it was so uncomfortable to sleep there. So I just slept in bed, and then whenever I had to get up, my husband had to help me get out of the bed because just the movements were extremely painful, and the pain meds were great. Thank goodness for the oxy. But it was much bigger surgery, I'd say, than the mastectomy even. And it took longer to heal, but the pain after was much less, and it probably was the pain medication. Maybe it was also because it was inserting instead of taking out. So although it was a longer recovery process, it was lighter in terms of pain.